Hi, I'm Chris from thesickvexus.com, and I am here with Teflon. And today we're going to talk about Rainbow Six Siege, which you got hands-on with the other day, right?
I did indeed, yes. And this was after the closed beta, so I've been showing off a few new things, a few different things from the game.
Okay, just so we're clear, firstly, this is quite different to Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2, which people might be familiar with, but it's also not the Patriots thing that got announced a little while back, because as I understand it, that's been canned as well.
Did they announce it? I think something.
I don't know if they
sort of
it leaked.
Yeah,
but I think they followed it up by a full video, maybe. But yeah,
there was something on a bridge.
There was I think that was a real video, but they were like, "Hey, this is proof of concept stuff. It's not real."
Yeah, yeah. So since then, they've made a completely different game, basically, and as a lot of people are now aware. In the last few weeks, there's no traditional single player mode. We've got a new situations mode, which is just coming in. It's very much a multiplayer focused game, and yeah, I think it's a strange move from Ubisoft to head down such a completely different path with the game, I think.
To what extent is situations like a single player mode though? Is it a real single player campaign or what?
No, it's not a story driven campaign in the slightest. They've still got the voice acting from Angela Bassett, who plays Six, but what she's mainly doing is introducing each of the operators that you can play as. So I'm not 100% sure how many operators there are in the game. I've not got that particular number in my head. I'm not 100% sure how many situations there are to play, but I do know that Ubisoft are committed to adding new maps, new situations, new things, modes, and all this stuff after the game is launched. So this is going to expand over time after the game has come out. But each mission in the situations, it's basically this is the character, this is what they can do. Now go and use those tools in the world. So it's an introduction to how each one plays, which you can then take online. So the first character in the first situation is basically, this is just your normal guy. Here's a plane that's got some terrorists on it. You're going to go onto there. You've got to play relatively stealthily, or you can try and gung-ho it if you really want to die. That's not really going to work too well for you.
The Rainbow Six games in general are not games you gung-ho it in.
No, you basically, it's very close to one-hit deaths. You do sort of have, I think you do sort of have a health bar, but it's a very, very short health bar. So you can take one or two hits maybe, but if it's a headshot, you're dead. And you will go down very quickly if you get caught unawares. Incredibly quickly, basically. That's just a recipe for dying.
So stealth and cover is the approach you need to be taking, really.
Yes, and what's good is that you can peek around corners. As you're aiming down sights, if you click either of the analog sticks, you lean in that direction.
Oh, nice.
And you've got.
I always like that in games. Peeking is always good.
Yeah, and another move that I quite like is that you can lie down on the floor.
All right.
You can go prone, but if you go prone in a corner. With your back in the corner, your body is just splayed out in front of you, and it's just quite funny to sit there doing an ambush like that. But the situations aren't all just go into this place and kill everything. You've got a hostage situation where you have to go in, rescue a hostage, and escort them out. And that was a little bit weird because you've just basically it forces you to switch to a pistol, but you can still rappel out of windows. You can still sprint. Well, I mean that's just forcing the hostage to sprint alongside you. But basically, you've got a pistol.
So it's forcing you to switch to a pistol because I assume it's a one-handed weapon.
Yeah, but
you can rappel.
Yeah, you can rappel.
No, you can't do that one-handed.
Well, I assume it. Well, I don't know. You can't see what the hostage is doing. The hostage is on your left. You've got the pistol in your right hand, and it's just I don't know. It just feels a tiny little bit odd. I agree, but at the same time,
that does feel quite odd.
Yeah, I think it's slightly fudging it in the name of gameplay a little bit.
I would rather they let you have an assault rifle or whatever, but you can't aim down the sights because you've just got it in one hand.
Okay, now that is very, very gung ho.
But that would be a logical step as well. If you're just firing from the hip.
I want it where you can rip off your shirt and pull out a chain gun.
Yeah,
and just walk and just mow everything down in front of you. That would be good.
That'd be fine. Much easier.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Gung Ho. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you've got that. You've got there's when you get given a more defense oriented character, you've got you've got to defend against 3 waves. So you're putting down barbed wire, putting up barricades in the wall on the walls, on the doorways, stuff like that, and you're setting traps for them to come through. So yeah, I mean, situations. It's just going to inform you about what these characters can do.
Yeah, so the operators, by the sound of it, all feel very distinctive. It's not just reskinning; it's more class-based by the sound of it.
Yeah, I mean, even within a sort of archetype, you've got variation. So I think there's 3 guys who've got big bulletproof riot shields.
Okay.
One of them has got the GSG-9, the German shield guy. He's got flashbangs on the front of it.
Okay.
So he can just barge through a door, flashbang everyone, and then shoot everyone. Or try to. It's a bit difficult because you can't aim down sights when you've got the shield up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The shield comes down, then you can aim down the sights. But you can still get some pretty good shots. And if you've got a revolver, that's going to do a lot of damage as well. If you land a hit, that's just gone. He's got that. You've got another one who's got an extendable shield, so you can cover your feet. Yeah. And I can't remember what the other one has got off the top of my head, but there's a third one, maybe even a fourth one, which they haven't announced yet.
But so essentially what you've got with the operators is you have the kind of effectively the class they are, but then the country they belong to, because I know there's the SAS are in it, and as you said, the German Special Forces as well. Yep,
you've got FBI. Okay. But yeah, each country, there's several characters from each country. They've got their different skills, and they've all got a name. They've all got different abilities and stuff like that. So you will be able to find a particular person that you want to play as, or that you like playing as, and stuff like that. Now, you do have slight variations when you then take it online. You do have slight variations in the loadout, which you can use. So you can pick a different primary weapon. The actual core abilities are going to stay the same. So IQ from GSG-9, she's got an electronic scope on her wrist, which she can flip up, and then she can see bombs which have been placed through walls. Okay. You've got a different guy who's got a heartbeat scanner. And it's basically just a full DSLR size thing which he pulls up, and you can't use a gun at this point. He pulls it up, and you're wandering around, and you go, "Oh shit, there's a person there," and then you realise that it's your teammate endlessly because because they've got a heartbeat. It's true.
Yeah. That's actually quite a big point in the original book, the heartbeat monitors. So it's nice that they are still in there. But from the sound of it, the situations mode does essentially it's just like a fancy tutorial, right?
Yeah, it's definitely just there to prepare you for when you want to go and do terrorist hunt co-op online. I mean, you can play the situations in co-op. Yeah. But it's still just the training ground before you get to terrorist hunt or the actual multiplayer modes, which are hostage and I forget what the other one's called, but you've got to go in and defuse a bomb, that kind of thing.
But talk about terrorist hunt. So that's the kind of proper co-op mode, right? Where you're facing off against terrorist AI.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's always you're attacking them and they're defending against you. And you've got classic terrorist hunt. You just go in, you have to kill everyone, and they've got their defenses set up. And you've also got the new one, which I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but you go in and you want to try and defuse a bomb. And once you do plant the bomb diffuser, it then has all of the AI coming at you, and you've just got to defend that place against them. It's actually quite difficult. It does push you. You do have to work as a team and set up defenses and not go in there too recklessly and stuff like that.
But there's just those 2 modes in terrorist hunt. So you've just got defuse and kill them all.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you've got full-on multiplayer.
Yep.
Which I assume has got defuse and kill everyone, but has it got any more modes in it as well?
It doesn't have kill everyone. You've got defuse and you've got hostage.
That seems like that would be a very natural fit for multiplayer.
Yeah, but the thing is that the whole gameplay is designed around attack and defense.
Yeah, but even so, you could just play the terrorist hunt classic mode but have the terrorists are people.
Yes, it's just. I mean, it wants to focus you around a particular point,
Okay.
and like we see this in so many games where Battlefield's got its like control points and the MCOM stations for rush mode. And so it's like trying to push you to these two focal points so that there's always a concerted battle and it's not just like people getting stranded and caught out on their own. And so like with hostage rescue, I mean these two modes are very, very similar, but hostage rescue you have to be a lot more cautious with what you're shooting. And there's so many times where people just throw in a grenade because they're not thinking, and that kills the hostage as well, and it wins the round for the terrorists or the defenders. Because from your point of view, you're never the actual terrorist. You're always the defender or an attacker. You're the good guys.
Oh, okay. So you always see yourself as the operators. You're never selecting a terrorist to play as.
No, I mean you've got two sets of operators to pick from. You've got a more attack-minded group, and you've got a more defense-minded group. But
sure. But
from your point of view, you're always the good guys.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, I've done that in a few games. It's like
yeah, I guess I've seen that before.
But you can be a lot more. You can go forward a lot more with the defuse mode, where you've got two bombs which you need to defuse either of them, and so like the defenders, you have to kind of pick and choose which one you want to save, which one you want to focus on, where you think they're going to come from, and stuff like that. And it can be quite tense. It can be a lot of fun, and you've got people tucked in the corners and getting people caught unawares and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who criticise it for being a bit more fast-paced than what came before. And though I'm not too familiar with the previous Rainbow Six games, I can kind of see that. And it feels like you can have a bit more forward momentum and you can be a little bit more reckless. But you do still need to work together as a team. You always need to have the guy with the shield going in first because they can take the bullets. The destruction is actually incredibly good as well because it means that there's so many more angles that you can come from. When we're attacking, we'd sometimes see the telltale signs of there's a trip mine behind this door, and so if I go through that door, I'm just going to die. But there's a breachable wall right next to it, so we're going to do that. Or there's one guy who's got a grenade launcher, which he smashes into a breachable wall. It sticks out the other side, and then just sprays grenades in there. Obviously, you don't want to do that in a room with hostages, but
it's not a great plan.
Yeah, exactly. But when we were attacking one of the bombs, he just did that. I think he did it twice, and then with the second one, he got 3 people in one thing. It's brilliant.
That's pretty good. Oh, yeah. It's nice that you've kind of got those different flavours that work. Like, obviously, you're getting that kind of class-based multiplayer in a lot of games now, but it does sound here like it's a lot more classes are a lot more situational than they are in other games. Given that this doesn't have that kind of all-out kill everyone mode, then you are looking a lot more at your situation into what operative you're playing as.
Yeah, and I mean, with the multiplayer, you pick an operative before each round. So you've got attack and defense, and it goes back and forth. And I think it's first one to 4, but if it's tied at 3-3, then it enters a kind of tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And so you've always got an opportunity to pick a different group, and it's sort of
Well, it sounds really really good. I mean, the lack of a single player is slightly disappointing for me, but I'm still quite interested in this game. I mean, would you recommend it to people?
It really depends on if you've got a group of people to play with, because it does need that cooperation and it does need you to be able to talk to people.
Yeah, I think this to me sounds a lot like if you are looking for this type of game, it's perfect, but you have to be looking for, like, you're trying to fill a very specific niche.
Yeah. I kind of feel that it's maybe going to play better to the PC market than the console market.
Yeah, but I that doesn't surprise me at all. If you're saying to people, hey, we're making a slightly more tactical shooter, it's always going to play better to the PC crowd. So finally, when is it out, and what can people get it on?
Cool, so it's out on 1st of December.
All right.
And I think that's across all 3 platforms.
Are you talking? You're not talking Wii U, I assume there.
No, we're not talking Wii U. We're not even talking PlayStation 3 or 360. This is PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Those are the only 3 platforms, presumably because of all of the destruction that's going on. And yeah, it's been pushed back a little bit, so now it's out on the 1st of December.
All right, so if that interests you, that's when you can get it. But for now, I've been Chris, it's been Teflon talking to me about Rainbow Six Siege. Goodbye.
Cluster charge deployed. Loading cluster charge.
Diffuser is active, protected at all costs.
Cluster charge. Detonating cluster charge.
1 op 4 remaining.
A really big fucking hole coming right up. Here we go. Stay back.
Op 4 eliminated.